Welcome to Fastlane Live. We're here to get ready for the InThePitsNews Truck Series Season 4 opening race later tonight, all right here on JCTV. Joining me right now is driver of the Pist'n'Broke Racing number 42, Silverado, sponsored by JCTV in tonight's Fastlane 250, is Josh Coppernoll. Good evening, Josh. And my co-commentator tonight and reigning series champion, Johnathan Parker. Good evening, guys.
Hey, Adam, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to getting this race in tonight. I've got a really strong team tonight with my PBR teammates. I think we're going to be up front. Looking forward to it, but first things first, got this awesome episode of Fastlane.
And Johnathan Parker, you're making your debut in the booth tonight for the BSR InThePitsNews Truck Series race. What do you expect to see tonight at Daytona?
I expect to see chaos and about 3-wide racing. I don't know what to expect both in the booth and on the racetrack, but I know it's going to be fun no matter what. So I hope you're excited.
Well, I know you weren't a big fan of the plate races last year and in general, but last season, what did you see on the racetrack, and what do you expect for that to carry out from both Daytona races and the Talladega races we saw last year?
Yeah, I like you said, I'm not a big fan of how you have to race this guy. I kind of compare myself a little bit to Joe Logano, where I'm not bad at it, but I just don't like how you have to race because you got to throw like haymaker blocks, and if you're on the outside line, you really got to side draft, especially in the trucks because they don't really get that great a side draft. So they're going to be packed together, and it's going to cause for probably some netcoda situations. It's going to be pretty sketchy as we go forward.
Now, Josh, you also raced in this race last season. What do you expect to see tonight as you're going to be back in the saddle tonight in that 42 car?
Actually, Adam, I did not get to race in this race last season. I was supposed to, but I had to be in the booth for production. But, kind of going back to Talladega, my only start at a super speedway in this league. I think really the one thing to watch out for tonight is teammates working with their teammates. I think it's going to be a huge teammate race tonight, and those that stay with their team are going to be the most successful tonight.
Yeah, we saw a lot of team games playing last season, like you mentioned, at Talladega in the doubleheader races. Johnathan, what is that going to be like tonight with the choose cone being in effect yet again this season?
Yeah, you actually I think it was Daytona. You guys saw that there was one of them restarts where I picked the lane, and just about everyone picked the opposite lane. So you do need help. There's only so much you can do by yourself, no matter how good you are out there. But the best always find themselves at the top near the end of this race, as long as they got a truck in one piece.
All right, and now it's time for a little bit something different here. This debuted the other day on Fastlane, and I think we're going to show it again on the other pre-race show tonight. But this is something Dawson Allen put together for us on JCTV. A really special segment here. I think it's really awesome the way he edited and put it together, and looking forward to seeing the response from this, and hopefully we can see more of these going forward.
Texas Daytona International Speedway, where tonight the stars of the InThePitsNews Truck Series and Tyler Watermelon will do battle. I'm going to show you what to and not to do in this race in here with Oscar Enriquez, and you'll see here the first thing we're going to do, we're going to show you how to bump draft, but you don't want to make too much contact or you'll wipe yourself out.
Oh, Andrew Elias just moved up a little bit.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
The biggest key to Daytona is finding yourself a partner that's going to work with you throughout the race. You can see here where me and Oscar link up and kind of just work together in the draft. It's something you're going to see a lot of these guys doing here tonight, and we've seen it work successfully like we saw last season with David and Justin Durand, as they were able to work their way to the front and go for the win, pushing each other to first and second.
Dalton Kelly once again with help from Jeremy Richmond. They're going to make contact in the back. It is now 4 trucks left trying to make it happen. David Durand ahead. David might have it. It will be David Durand winning at Daytona.
Last thing you want to do is push not square on the bumper, Oscar. Careful with the pushes and you'll be able to make it. Just don't push in the corner! And that's a good example of what not to do at Daytona.
It's like lean, get more front. Looks like for a moment, Chocano is trying to take it by himself, and he actually does. Russ is always going to be paid the place when he spins in front of the field. And wow!
Oh, around goes Parker, Siciliano, Chocano, Caldwell involved as well.
Parker saved it, but then for them to get Andrew to lead that lap.
Oh, Andrew Lewis around, Dawson Allen around, Brett Bennett around. They're going to get into Nick Warnick, Michael Krueger.
Another key is going to be making your pit stops. You're going to want to get together with your partner or get together with your group and get down. You don't want to speed, and you want to make sure you get onto that pit road as safe as can be and ready to go with your teammates. Just as smooth as you entered, you want to exit together as a group and be ready to get this back going and get back out there and get back up to speed as quickly as possible. And when it comes down to it at the end, you want to make sure you're in the right spot to put your truck in victory lane and become the 4th different winner here at Daytona. All that matters is keeping that truck behind you. He's going to make a move. You got to make sure if he gets that run, he's going to get the pass. You don't want to let him go. And there we go. And that is the reason why I have yet to win in this series. This has been your first ever episode of Dawson's Domain here at Daytona. A lot of work. And hit at the end. A lot of work to do.
Fastlane, a JCTV podcast, is brought to you by FACES, the National Craniofacial Association. You can learn more today at faces-cranio.org to learn more today or donate.
Fastlane is also sponsored by Spooky Games. Check them out in Attleboro, Massachusetts, or online at spooky-games.square.site or on Facebook.
I'm next on Fastlane. Drivers from SBLD Racing is going to join us to talk about the Daytona race tonight. Shane O'Neill and Brett Bennett.
You can't out.
Well, Brett Bennett joins us on Fastlane with Shane O'Neill. As good evening, as we watch the last 15 laps of this Xfinity race in the background. Let's start off with Brett. Shane, what is the race going to be like tonight at Daytona with the trucks at Daytona being a plate race, of course?
It's going to be an interesting race. I mean, I think the field size, we very well could have probably the largest field in the series' history tonight. I know it's going to be a large field, so it'll be interesting to see how it's going to be a lot about getting teams to work together. I just saw Radius posted 9 trucks for them. I know we've got a bunch of trucks with SBLD and affiliated drivers. It's just going to be finding help where you can find it and then staying out of trouble. It's going to be a decision to be made in the first stage. I know we've had last year, and I know both Talladega races, we had major wrecks coming to the stage breaks in the Dega doubleheader races. And that'd be a concern of mine. I'll probably just have to feel it out because I want to be up front, but at the same time, I'm not going to risk wrecking out. I don't want to risk wrecking out in stage 1. Really interesting to see what happens.
And Shane, for you, not really a full timer in the InThePitsNews Truck Series. So what is it like to come out here and race the big tracks like you do every once in a while?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to have a lot of fun tonight and just not interfere too much with the people who are running for the full-time championship. But there'll be hopefully a lot of trucks and just gonna try and a lot of SBLD guys. So we're should be making strategy interesting when you have all these different teams with a lot of trucks.
Yeah, I think what's going to be interesting to see is, Emily, with the field size, I don't think we're going to get a green final stage, but it'll be interesting to see what the pit strategies will be if we do end up going green a little bit during the final stage. Because I think if I remember right from last year, the stage length falls right on the edge of making it on one stop, but you have to really save pretty hard to do it. Ooh.
Now, Brett,
Sorry.
I don't want to put this stat in your face. Of course, you are winless in league racing. What I do want to talk about is you are really good at these type of races. I know we just had a race in a league that's not broadcasted at all, not on JCTV, where you were running up front. It was just at Talladega. But you always seem to find your way up to the front in these races. So tonight, are you feeling, same strategy as usual? Try to be up front, be there at the end?
I'm not. I wanted to be up front this race, but at the same time, it's all feel. I think plate racing is something that you get a feel for. You got to know when to be aggressive and when not to be, and what moves to block and what moves not to block. And you can usually get a feeling when a wreck's about to occur. You start seeing a lot of people moving around and it's getting squirrely. That's when to bail. It'll just depend on the situation. I'm wanting to be up front this race as much as possible, but I do feel like I excel at this type of racing, but at the same time, I'm feeling really confident just in general entering this season. I've had a lot of success in the league you had just mentioned, where I'm racing against. I know Krueger, Caldwell, and a couple others are in there, and pace-wise, I've been pretty much neck and neck with all of them all season, where they're the people who I think are the drivers to beat typically in here. So feeling confident entering this race in this season. So we'll see what we can go get. That's not where a splitter's supposed to be.
Now, Shane, one thing you brought up was trying not to mess up the races for the other guys racing for the championship. How difficult is that going to be in the first stage and really all night long, and how much are you going to be thinking about that? And in the past, have you thought about that at all, racing these guys?
Yeah, I just try to race people with as much respect as possible, and I've had some incidents in the past where I just made sure to, especially when I'm being lapped, because I get lapped a lot, just make sure to keep it like below the apron and hold a steady line.
Sorry, did you say something? Sorry, I zoned out.
So, Brett, obviously, we've had a lot of jokes this offseason about how you're going to be a championship contender again this year. How much are you going to put weight into getting points tonight to set your sight toward making that chase again this season?
I'm feeling pretty confident in this season. Obviously, I think there's a lot of new drivers in the series who are going to be good, so I think it's going to be a tight race. But based on the results I've shown, especially since I upgraded my setup, I've had a lot of good results in officials and hosted races, and I feel like if I have that kind of consistency and pace, I should have no issues being in the playoffs. Tonight, I think the goal is more I want to get points, but at the same time, I want to go out and win tonight. I think I'm tired of not winning. but if I have to, I'll just settle for points. Like, just depends on how the race plays out.
Now, you've been up there in the past. You've got top 5 in this race in the last couple, I believe, in season 1. How much have you learned in the last 3 seasons here and in the other races we've had most recently at Daytona, in other leagues, to put yourself up there and try and get there for the end?
I mean, the key is just knowing. The key is knowing where the runs are going to come from. I think it's no secret to people who know that you can really go to the front from the back if you have the right help. Here, it's a little more difficult than Dega just because it's a lot narrower of a track. You can go 3 wide, but 3 wide is a lot sketchier here. At Dega, you can run 3 wide with no issues at all. But here, if you're taking it 3 wide, it's going to be risky. But you can really make the top work, and if you get the right help behind you, like I'm hoping Mikey will work with me tonight. I know we had a lot of success at Atlanta last year working together, and we've had success in some other leagues working together at plate tracks. So. And then, obviously, my teammates, me and Dalton, have also had a lot of success working together. So we'll see what we can get and hopefully be there at the end. Now that I've said that, I'll probably get killed on lap 1, but it happens.
Well, before we let you guys go, we got one more thing. Something that we debuted on our last Fastlane Live, and it's Fastlane Trivia. So for you guys, this is for either you, Brett, or you, Shane. How many green-white checkers have there been in Daytona in the InThePitsNews Truck Races?
I want to say season 1 didn't have any. I know because it was a 6-car pack on the last lap, and I got hooked into the wall at the start of the last lap, so it didn't bring out a caution. Me and Dalton got wrecked by the radius. Season 2, I don't know if there was a green-white checkered because I remember it being a pretty clean race to the finish. I don't think there was. Last season, there was one. No, there wasn't last year because me and Caldwell almost got. I don't think there's been any, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of repressed the race from last season because I finished 8 laps down.
So I'm gonna go with 0.
All right. Well, the answer is actually 1. It was season 2, and it was just 2 laps.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we had done that or not that year. Yeah, it's been weird how we've gotten some long runs to the finish here, but I don't think that's going to be the case tonight. I'll be honest.
All right, well, we're going to see how it plays out. Good luck, Brett, Shane, and thanks for joining Fastlane Live.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And before we move into our next interview, I believe we have a new guest here in the booth. Someone who's going to be joining Johnathan Parker and I and Dawson Allen a little bit later tonight in the booth. Johnathan Canfield, I believe, has joined us here on Fastlane Live.
Indeed, I have, guys. I hope everyone's doing well and excited to see what topics we discover so far.
Yeah, good evening, Johnathan. Welcome. We're going to move into our next interview with Radius Racing. They're going to be strong, like I mentioned a little bit ago, with 7 to 9 trucks going to be here in the race tonight. It's going to be interesting to see. They never usually qualify up front, so it's always interesting to see how they get through the field at these plate tracks.
What's going on?
No,
Are we live?
Yes.
It's a packed
Oh,
house.
hello.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yes, we're moving forward because you all guys just popped in at once. So, Alonso, Chocano, Cameron, Caldwell, Alex Khirfan, Justin Durand, welcome to Fastlane Live, and I'm just going to start off asking, what do you guys expect to see tonight in the first opening 25-lap stage tonight?
A wreck.
Yeah, we haven't been racing for a while. I feel like some of these guys are not going to give respect where respect's due, and something's going to happen.
Me and Justin were talking earlier, and it does seem like every time we come to Daytona, there is a caution between lap 10 and 15, so I'm sure that's not going to be too different.
Hey, now, I've done my research, okay?
Yeah.
That doesn't bode well for me, because I'm usually in those wrecks.
Oh, so, all right. So, what do you guys expect to get through the wrecks, and if there are any, and how difficult is it to set yourself up for that last stage if you do get damaged and just trying to survive the rest of the night?
I think you just hope it's not engine damage or enough to slow you down, keep you out of the draft, because then there's not a whole lot of fun running around by yourself for the next 75 laps plus. So, yeah, I will say, to the surprise of no one here, I'm sure I do not plan on being up front for the first stage for sure, and after that we'll kind of play it by ear. But yeah, I'm gonna let them wreck in front of me and hopefully survive.
I think you guys know me by now. I can't resist not being too near the front at these plate races. I like leading, but I mean, you got to play it smart. So we'll see where we qualify. If we get a good starting position, might try to lead some laps and then fall behind. But if not, we'll just play it by ear and seeing how what kind of energy there is in the pack. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to qualify ahead of the wreck, but you don't know when or where it's going to happen, so it could happen at any time. It could happen at the front of the pack. Who knows?
Well, Radius Racing has really shown to be the dominant team at just the plate races in general. But of course, at Daytona, taking 2 wins in the first 3 seasons. You guys have already really talked about kind of the strategy, what you're doing, but at the end, if you guys are all lined up together, are you guys gonna try to stick together or pull out a line to win the race if you're not the one in front?
Well, I think last season, I don't know about Daytona. I can't remember Daytona very well. I know Justin and Dave were working together. Yeah, I was wrecked with Brett, but I know Justin and Dave obviously stuck together because I think we've seen in the past that even there and other races we've seen them not go away from each other. But we're generally pretty good working together, I think. I think we've had some moments where we're all lined up and then one of us who's not leading gets impatient and wants to try and keep moving up, so then we get split up a little bit. But I think we'll just kind of need to communicate and just go from there. But I'll let one of these other guys talk.
No, it's just that we race each other hard but fair, and we'll ensure that if we're lined up at the end and one of us has the shot to win, we'll make sure that one of us is the one to win. We're not gonna wreck each other out right at the end. So as long as we just make sure one of us wins, should be a win in all of our books.
As soon as we get to practice here, we definitely need to practice pit entry, so we don't take ourselves out doing that. So I'm sure we'll take some time to do that.
Yeah, pit entry is a huge thing here. We don't obviously no one knows if we're gonna get green flag pit stops, but I feel like in most of the play races in this league, we get at least one. So, yeah,
you don't want to be surprised getting one and then not having practiced. So
exactly, yeah. And between Rays and Vortex, we could have at most 9 trucks between us working together. And that's great and all, but trying to get 9 trucks on the pit road at the same time, coordinated,
Sometimes there's
would
a
be pretty
point of
tough.
diminishing returns.
Yeah, so it's just gotta be a lot of communication, like I said a bit ago. But yeah, I think we've shown in the past that we can work pretty well together. I think, we won all the plate tracks last season, right? So,
one was an asterisk.
I was about to say that. There's an asterisk next to one.
True.
Y'all have to crush a yellow can to win Atlanta.
We won't mention that.
I haven't got to the point of including Atlanta as a plate track just yet, even though it pretty much is. I'm not there yet. So, but we swept the Dega double. We won Daytona, won Atlanta, kind of. So
He's got a golden horseshoe up his butt.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are too worried about it, but you can't be overly confident going into these things because one wrong move and the whole field's taken out. So
They call these the great equalizers for a reason.
exactly.
Okay, I actually do have a question for once. For all you guys as a team. Going into this season, obviously you talked about you organizing 9 trucks on pit road between yourselves and Vortex. But as a team, who do you guys see, like, not really rivalry, but who's your biggest threat out there as far as a team wise?
I'm gonna lead this off. I don't know. I don't know how much my other guys here have been kind of following the off-season stuff, but I think Militia Motorsports is gonna be pretty good. You got Josh Arnold, Nick Kapiak, and then newcomers from the NAR League on Fridays on JCTV. Shameless plug. But I can't remember who all they are. I know it's Braden Holt and scrolling through my list here. You guys can help me out, broadcasters. Hunter Peach, and there's one more somewhere, I think. Cole Snyder. Yeah. So those 5. I think I've not really run with any of them other than Josh Arnold and Happyack here, but I know those 2 are pretty quick, and I think it's only a matter of time until they win a race here, and I think the other 3 are pretty quick as well. So I think they are probably our biggest threat. But
Let's say
I would count PBR out.
PBR
here, and then Ethan has shown to be very fast in the limited time he's been here.
I feel like Ethan's gonna really surprise us this season. I mean, last season he was fast, but he also had a bit of bad luck finishing races. But he was teammates with Jonathan Parker, and they were both extremely shown a lot of speed. So I feel like as long as he can avoid not finishing races, he'll be in contention.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Apologize to you, Josh. I kind of completely forgot the lineup that PBR has got going this season. I agree that these guys will be strong as well. I know I haven't raced with Bennett Allen much at all. I remember sitting on the couch watching the Las Vegas race last season, the one race he participated in here. But I know he's quick in other leagues. I know he's really aggressive in that Vegas race. And obviously, you guys just talked about Ethan Moreno, who was really quick. And you can't ever count out Krueger. And then you got Josh in there as well, who will he'll be around. Not sure if you'll see him too much, but you'll see him here and there.
Just outside the top 10 most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I wanted to add on was that I also agree that Ethan is probably one of the most improved drivers I've seen in this league. He might not have had the greatest start on his debut. Maybe he was involved in a little bad luck on top of that. But man, oh man, I think midway through the season, towards the end of the season, he's just up front every race.
Yeah, and if it weren't for a certain mellow yellow can singing at the show here and there, I think he would have already had a win or 2 under his belt. So I think it was Homestead and
Arlington,
yeah. That
He's gonna be fast at Homestead.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got a trivia question for you guys. So what is the average finish? We've had 3 Daytona races so far to start off the season. What is the average Daytona finish of the eventual champion?
I know I won the season 1 championship. I finished second. Let's see who. Alonso won season 2 championship. I don't remember.
I'll
where
say
you
4.
finished. Yeah, I don't know. I'll go with 4 as well.
I think Johnathan was 9th last season. I think he got taken out near the end of that race.
And I almost wanted to go a bit higher. I'm not sure.
Season 2, I could have swore Alonso got DNF'd. Probably finished like 8th or 9th because that field got destroyed near the end. So, maybe an average
I
of
don't.
like
I
6
don't
to
remember
7.
where I finished.
Well, Justin actually is the closest there. Caldwell, you finished second, Chocano 9th, and Parker 9th, so it's actually 6.5.
Yeah, I spent quite a bit of the offseason watching the previous broadcast. Got to do something to fill that time.
He's doing homework. I like it.
Studying film session.
I know Justin's a big fan of that Kentucky broadcast. I think he watches that probably every time he goes to sleep. So
I can neither confirm nor deny.
All right. Well, thanks guys for joining Fastlane Live. We'll get you back into practice and move on with the show. Good luck, guys.
I will say, real quick, to take that off just a little bit, I have to watch the Martinsville broadcasts quite a bit. So it's not.
It's like my Kansas one.
Oh, I know. I got the redemption at Martinsville. You got it at Kansas, so feel good. But yeah, that's gonna be fun tonight. Gonna be fun this season. So can't wait to get started.
All right, that was Radius Racing. That was a fun trivia question, Josh, with all 3 of our former champions right here taking part in that. And what an interesting answer there. We're going to move on with Zach Probst from Peak Performance Motorsports on the show. All right, hey, Zach, you got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, what are you looking forward to tonight at Daytona, and what do you expect to see for that 62 truck?
I'm really just looking forward to the pack racing. It's always fun, even if it gets strung out at times. Fuel strategy might play a factor because we do need to make a fuel stop. So I think we'll see some saving of tires and fuel early on in this race until we get our one stop in, and then it'll start to get crazy.
Yeah, how crazy do you expect it to be? We just got done talking about how crazy it really hasn't been in the last couple seasons at the end of the races. It's gotten strung out in some of them, and some of them have been wild. What do you expect to see tonight, and how do you plan on getting there yourself?
I'm hoping to just stay at the back of this lead pack and just hold on and not get caught up in their wrecks. So it's always a challenge at Daytona. But I think as long as we get a caution to stack the field back up near the end, I think we'll see some 3-wide racing, or at least a few laps.
Zach, who do you think tonight? I know you kind of do this thing on your own for the most part, but who are you going to lean on tonight to kind of help you get through the madness that is this pack at Daytona?
I'm just going to be working with the people who are around me. Hopefully I can get some pit strategy from them. I'll try to pit with the leaders if possible, but I think I'm just going to be whoever's near me.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Johnathan. One thing that we see out of you, Zach, is that you do run a lot of these races by yourself without any teammates. How much more difficult is it at these plate tracks, considering how much teammates matter here for these type of races?
It's super difficult, especially when you need to make a green flag pit stop. You got to just hope you're in a group and you know when they're going to be pitting and what they're going to be doing. But other than that, as long as you can find someone you trust pushing you or push someone who can hold their line, you should be okay. But it's always a challenge when you're running a plate track alone.
Now, Zach, you race in a couple of different leagues that JCTV broadcasts that has some of these guys in it, so you're really familiar with some of the competitors a lot more than others. With that being said, is there anybody that you think you could trust a little bit more at this race, a drafting style track, than say somebody else or another driver?
I feel like I can trust Michael Krueger. Hopefully, we get near each other, and then Nathan Fuller. I started working with him near the end of last season, and hopefully, we can be around each other near the end. Because I really trust him pushing me or me pushing him. Hopefully, one of us gets the win.
No, Zach, how are you going to approach this race tonight? We hear a lot of different approaches to these plate tracks. Are you going to go out there and post qualifying lap, try and be up front, get some good stage points? Or are you going to straggle out back all night and just try and ride to get to the end?
I'm going to try to qualify up front, and if I do, I'm going to stay within the front 2 rows, if possible. And then if I start dropping back, I'm going to just drop all the way back. And if I feel it's starting to get too crazy, I'll try to get to the back of the pack. But I mean, if I can just stay up front, I feel confident.
And lastly, for me, what do you expect to see at the end of this race? Do you expect to see a lot of chaos, or do you expect to see strung out racing like we have seen in this race previously? A long green flag run, or a couple of green-white checkers, or something like typical at plate tracks?
I expect we'll have a couple long green flag runs. I bet we'll have one green flag pit stop. But after that, once the field gets stacked up near the end, I feel like we're going to be using up all of our green-white checkers. And maybe even end on a caution.
All right, I got a trivia question for you, Probst. ITPN trivia question. So, what is the fewest laps led by a Daytona InThePitsNews Truck Series winner?
Gonna go 8.
Wow. 8 is the correct answer. It was actually last season with David Durand.
Wow, I'd honestly just completely guessed.
That was a really good guess there.
Yeah. Well, good job on that, Zach. Thanks for participating in trivia. Thanks for joining Fastlane Live, and good luck tonight in the Fastlane 250 at Daytona.
Thanks. Have fun in the booth.
Absolutely. Good luck out there again.
Thank you.
It's 62, Zach Probst for Peak Performance Motorsports. And guys, just for a quick moment, I know at least a couple of us are watching this NASCAR Xfinity race, and what a crash we just saw there with Daniel Hemrick from the lead.
That was very scary. He ended up flipped over. This is the second time today we've seen a car flip over.
I just hope
everyone's all right. Yep.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, we saw Daniel Hemrick climb out. I was very worried earlier when we saw Casgrale hit that tire and just go sailing into the infield. I was kind of worried for a few minutes we were going to get some unfortunate report from the campgrounds, but I haven't seen anything yet, fortunately, about that. But been a wild race there, and I'm just keeping it in the back of my mind. We might see something like that in the last couple of laps tonight, just going all out for the win tonight at Daytona. And it's like some of these guys have mentioned, a lot tighter track than it is at Talladega, so can see a couple squeezes into the wall, and all of a sudden you're in the lead, and then boom, you're on the hook.
Y'all have forced my hand. I'm officially putting the stream up, finally.
Well, they're under caution now, and they have been for a while. It's been a lot of pace laps.
Oh, man. I've been busy today. For many of the viewers at home that don't know, I literally just got back from getting a haircut, which I'm required to get. So, I've been busy.
The few, the proud.
The Marines.
Got a few Marines in my family. I love them. So, we're on the same team.
When you going to join them?
You think my fat behind can help out the Marines. I'm good at like half a thing in my life. I'm not good at really anything.
No, I think it's
people rolling their eyes at that.
I think it's going to be interesting tonight. I don't think Adam has talked about it. There's about to be 4 of us in this booth tonight. I think it's going to be interesting.
That is going to be interesting. Probably, I think it's going to be fun, but yeah, it's going to be interesting with you.
I think it's eventually going to turn into the John and John show.
I'm glad I'll be out on the track for this.
Whose idea was this?
I think it just worked out this way.
Partially it's Cam's fault because I'm a race car driver. I really want to be racing.
We can always blame Cam.
He does have the final say, to be fair.
You know, I don't think we've publicly talked about it yet, but we got something else brewing for the John and John show, including Adam on Thursdays.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, got something else in the works.
Don't worry about it right now. It was just a little
more news to come.
All right, we're gonna move forward in our Fast Lane Live here and get with Michael Krueger from Pist'n'Broke Racing. Your teammate Josh, he has won this race in the past, season 2 winner of the Fast Lane 250. Have you worked with him on plate races a ton, Josh? And if you have, what is he like as a driver in these type of tracks?
Yeah, I really haven't been able to work with him too much, but I'm really looking forward to it tonight. I think we've got a great team tonight in PBR with Krueger, Bennett, and Ethan. I think, really all of us don't have experience working with each other, but I think ultimately we're going to be strong out there and get a pretty good plan going early.
All right, let's hear from him himself, driver of the 14 for PBR. Michael Krueger, welcome to Fastlane Live. What are you expecting to see tonight at Daytona? I'll just ask you straightforward right there.
I'm just expecting things to get a bit hectic. It's going to be super speedway racing. We're going to see people fighting for lanes and track position, really trying to hold the front. People want to stay to the front, really. You're going to have people in the back. My strategy tonight, I'm going to be trying to be up front, even though early on I'll be deep in the back. But I'm just going to try to keep it up front all race here and see how it goes.
I've seen that you put a couple of laps down on the board in practice, just opened up about 20 minutes ago. So what do you feel with that truck so far early on tonight? And what do you need to be up there in the mix tonight at this super speedway?
I just gotta hold the proper track position really to keep me up here or keep me up there. I mean, you could probably sit back really, but you could sit back all you want, but like late in the race, you're gonna have to make moves to put yourself in position to try to win it, which could probably result you in potentially getting wrecked. So I think staying up front most of, if not at all times, controlling the race will be very critical in keeping yourself in the hunt for the win.
And now we're joined by your teammate at Pist'n'Broke Racing, Bennett Allen, in the 15 for PBR. Bennett, rookie to the series, you have, I believe, just one start under your belt here. What are you going to have under your seat tonight at Daytona, and what are you going to be looking forward to the most?
Really just looking forward to a new league. The one race I did here last year was a lot of fun, really clean racing, and that's all I'm really looking for. Being around a lot of guys that I know, especially Josh, as he sponsors me in another league. Just really excited to see the different level of competition and seeing, how far I can get and hopefully make the playoffs. But for tonight, I just want to keep my nose clean, maybe show up out front a couple times throughout the race, but I really just want to finish the race on the lead lap and get 1 points paying race under my belt. But I'm excited, though. I really am.
Yeah, you mentioned the points under your belt. What do you expecting for this race in terms of going for points? Are you going to be up in the mix at that end of that stage of lap 25, trying to get some bonus points, or are you going to be riding around trying to get a good finish for the end?
I don't know yet. I'll really just kind of take each lap as itself, and try to figure out my strategy by the point of lap 25 stage. But I mean, if I'm in position, I'll go for it. But I'm just really hoping there's not a lot of yellows, so that I can make that decision without being afraid. So I did a lot of Talladega races this week and official iRacing, and I won a couple. So I'm really confident in my super speedway abilities if I need to use them, all the way. But like I said, I just want to finish the race on the lead lap. I'll be happy with like a top 15, even a top 10 finish. So yeah.
How about you, Michael? You're a former winner of this race at Daytona, and a couple more races under your belt here in the series, especially at these super speedways. You made your debut actually on a super speedway here in this league, I believe, at Talladega way back. So what are you going to bring to the table tonight in terms of racing up front and being competitive all night long?
I'm just going to try to keep it up front as much as I can. My teammates are up there. I'll work with them. I'll do what I can really to work with my teammates. Really what could be helping all of us out. It'll just really be big surviving to the end. I mean, just nothing really too aggressive until really, I mean, close to the end with like maybe 25, 20 to go is when you should start making moves and start setting yourself up in those last 5 or so laps for the end. So just going to be trying to work with teammates like guys like Bennett and Ethan and Josh. Going to be having to work with those guys when I can. That'll help us all and put us in the right spot towards the end.
Yeah, well, it's another thing I'm really excited for is just probably competent teammates. Like I have other leagues where my teammates go all over the place, but super speedway racing is really a team, style of racing. Like at short tracks and intermediates, you're not really always, with your friends or with your teammates. You're, racing your own race, but when you have people you can trust, it will help, push you forward literally, and hopefully get a win for anybody. Because a win for a teammate's kind of like a win for you. You're just as happy, maybe a little bit disappointed, but it's just good overall for morale for your group.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. Actually, sorry, Josh can go.
That's all right. I was gonna say, I mentioned just before you brought Michael in here that I don't have a lot of experience working with Michael at plate races, but and the same with Bennett. But I've got a lot of trust in these guys, and Bennett mentioned how I sponsor him in another league. Actually, something he didn't mention is he's a champion, and I spotted him to a championship win. I mean, I spotted him for a good majority of the season. We won the championship together. Mikey and I, we've got a lot of connection as well with him being on my team, PBR, and has been for quite a while now. So I've got a lot of trust in these guys. Ethan's kind of new. I'm not really sure too much about Ethan, but I've raced with him. I've been on the same track as him quite enough to know how he races, and I've got trust in him as well. So as it's been mentioned, I think the teammate game is really the biggest thing for tonight, and I'm really looking forward to working with these guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty thrilled really to have guys like Bennett and Ethan a part of PBR this season. I mean, racing with Ethan last season, I mean, he's a bit of a tough guy to race around. He certainly had some pace, and he'd get pretty defensive when trying to hold a spot, and which I'm not trying to call bad, but like he's doing his thing, trying to keep himself up front. So I mean, having a guy like Ethan on our team's really good. Looking forward to having him as our teammate, and having a guy like Bennett Allen on the team. I mean, I've only raced with him a couple times outside of really only in ITPN, and from what Josh told me about how he won a championship in a league is exciting stuff to hear, especially like the competition in that league. So thrilled to have a guy like Bennett Allen on PBR and to work with him. So thrilling stuff there. Just gonna be really exciting to work with the new teammates and especially like see if we can work together and help each other out and like just share our knowledge and like how to make each other better as teammates and as competitors on the track.
That's one of the things I like about fixed setup leagues. Like, everyone is in the same setup. The league that I'm in is open setup, so you can be a mid-level driver and win a race, like just because you have a good setup. So having an even playing field, I'm excited for. I want to see how I match up to a lot of these guys. Yes, I've won a championship in another league, but it's cool and all. But now I'm in this league, and that championships kind of doesn't really matter. So, like I said, fixed setup is going to be awesome. I'm really excited to see where I really add up to everyone else in this league, and work with Michael. Michael, I think we did an endurance race together, if I remember correctly, a good while ago. Michael is a very, very talented racer, and definitely watching him last year, I'm excited to race with him. Josh, as he mentioned, my sponsor and spotter from last year, such a good guy. So, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm more stoked for a fixed setup league than I've ever been in my life. So, there's just something about it. Like, everyone's a level, and so it's really just who can, yes, save their tires, but also who's actually good. And I'm just really, really excited for that.
And real quick, I just do want to throw one more thing in before I ask a trivia question. When I told Michael before the news was out there that Ethan was going to be a part of the team, I don't think Michael. I don't think he thought I was being serious at first, but I definitely think that we're all excited to have Ethan on the team and Bennett as well. So now we're going to the trivia question, and unfortunately, I can't answer this because I have the answers right in front of me. But for either of you guys, there's 3 drivers. I only need 1. But who has the most top 10s in the 3 Daytona ITPN
Top
truck
5s.
races?
Top 5s.
Top
Did I write top
5s.
10s? I meant top 5s.
It does say top 10s, but we'll go
I meant top
5s.
5s. Well, classic typo.
I have a guess.
Go ahead, Bennett.
David Durand.
It's a good guess.
Good
Ooh, man, that's a good one. I think I want to say Andrew Elias, actually. A bit of a wild card one, but Andrew Elias.
Andrew Elias is actually one of the 3. Yes, he had a 2nd and a 5th in Season 2 and Season 3. Cameron
Who are
Caldwell.
the other 2?
Cameron Caldwell also with a 2nd and a 5th, coming in Season 1 and 2. And Alex Khirfan, a 3rd and a 4th, also coming in Season 1 and 2.
Good for them.
Yeah, it's really hard to do, especially to make it all the way to the end and rack up a top 5. It's really hard to do. So, I mean, it's really a great job on those guys getting those top 5s.
Yeah, it's just a super speedway race. It's all luck.
It's still great. It's still great though for them to survive all the way and make it that far and manage to come up with a great finish there, despite it being a plate race.
Yeah, of course. And Michael, you're trying to add your name onto that list tonight. Former winner of this race. You were just outside of that threshold last season, I believe. So try and do a few spots better this year, get inside that top 5, and of course do way better and get a victory. And of course, that's what everyone's out here for tonight. But good luck tonight, guys, on doing so. And we hopefully get to talk to you guys a little bit later tonight in the race broadcast.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining Fastlane Live. That is Bennett Allen in the 15 truck and Michael Krueger in the 14, both for Pist'n'Broke Racing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, guys, that is all the scheduled interviews we had. We missed a couple guys, unfortunately, but we have to keep going with the program. Right now, still NASCAR Xfinity is still going under caution. Another overtime attempt. Guys, what do you expect to see with that real quick?
They're gonna have it.
This isn't about the Xfinity race. I don't think we mentioned this, but doesn't Mikey have a drive-through? Because he felt like wrecking someone at the.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He felt like wrecking someone at Kansas. I forget who it was. I think it might have been
3 months.
I wonder who that could have been.
Yeah.
I didn't
Maybe a guy that's not even in the field tonight.
I didn't
Well,
forget
Josh,
about it. I just didn't want to bring it up about my teammate.
I should have brought up how he wrecked my ass yesterday in NAOR.
Last night.
I should have brought that up. I didn't want to be. I'm learning how to interview right now, so I'm not like really in it because I don't know.
Look,
I just.
All I'm gonna say is earlier when we were talking, I think it was Caldwell was talking about that new team that I don't remember what the name of the team is that he said. But he brought up the list of names and he said Hunter Peach, and I'm like, look, Hunter Peach brought home a tin can last night in that
Hunter
race.
Peach is a wheel, man. He might be my long lost brother. I love him a lot. I like racing around him. I don't know, every league that we're in, I'm sorry, but every league that we're in, I feel like we're always just around each other. We're very connected at the hip. It's really weird. I don't know why. Like, I could be having the crappiest day, and we just end up together. I don't know how it happens.
I just want to say,
I'm sure you've seen it. He finished with a tin can last night.
I saw it, yeah. I was sitting on pit road because my motor blew.
I just want to say that, to put it into perspective, guys, if you haven't watched that race last night, go check it out. But he hit everything but the pace car. And
Yeah, he was involved in 3 big wrecks, I'm pretty sure. He was involved in mine, and I remember him being involved in another one. He might have, I guess that makes it 2. Good counting, JCC. But yeah, that car was junk. That had no rear end. I'd be shocked if it didn't have power damage. So he is a very good driver, and if he races full time, he will be a tough out. I promise you.
I expect to see aggression from him if he's here tonight.
By the way, when I said JCC, that means Johnathan can't count, and that's not Johnathan Canfield. That's Jonathan Parker that can't count.
Where in the heck did you come up with that one?
It actually, I stole it from my team. Well, I guess I own the team, but the namesake of the team, Jared Bogley, he's Jared Wilson in the league. That other name's an alias. He is awful at math. Like I mean, like borderline. I can't say that, but he can't count, so he will be like, oh, JCC if he says like 5 + 2 is 8, which he will unironically do. So I just kind of took that from him for a moment, but yeah, I almost got canceled.
So,
hey Parker, how about old ETB here tonight?
Eat that bear. I don't mean this in any bad way. I mean, he's great, like at road course race. He's great everywhere. Play racing doesn't seem to be his thing. I wouldn't really expect much from him. Every play race I've done with him, he's just very pedestrian. I don't know if it's like he's just not comfortable making the moves. Maybe I got to take him to the lab a little bit, but yeah, that's the one thing that I don't think he's all that comfortable with. But obviously for the championship, he's going to be one of the favorites. He's dumb fast everywhere.
all right. Well, all I could say is leave my driver alone that I stole from you. But
I mean, he wasn't. I guess he technically was. Was he on my team? I don't think he was ever on my team technically.
so now we
So
have
he
a
didn't steal
trivia
anything.
question. We have a trivia question for the booth. So you guys here.
Does it involve counting?
No.
I was gonna say if it involves numbers, both me and Parker, we're done.
Well, it does involve numbers, but it doesn't involve counting.
So
well,
what is the
it does. But,
average?
Well,
What is the average cautions per race at Daytona? We've had 3 races.
7.
I'll go at 7.
Both of you.
You
said
know,
7.
no. I'm gonna go 6.5 because I can. That's the average number, 6.5.
you guys are picking way too high.
Yeah, you're right. There has not been that many calls. I mean, I didn't know what happened season 1. I didn't have iRacing, and I vaguely did. I know what JCTV was. Probably not. Sorry, Josh.
All right. So the answer is an average of 3 yellow flags. We had 2 in season 1 and 4 in both season 2 and
you see,
3.
That was my strategy because I've said, okay, it's probably gonna be a little low. Let me just go half lower.
Oh, I
So
guess
I
you
beat
win
him.
that battle.
I won. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong. I still beat him.
That's his best was.
All right. Well,
All right. Yeah, we're gonna move on to our next segment. JCTV picks for the Cup race tomorrow at Talladega. Xfinity race is still going on under cautions for time.
Turned it off.
Josh. Yeah, it's still pacing. Josh, I am going to drag down Michael Krueger, one of our participants in JCTV picks. Dawson Allen has not joined us yet. I believe he's still watching the Xfinity race over in another server, so I can't be joined by him. So we'll give his pick for him. And Kevin Caldwell is gone deaf and muted in the Discord, and now he's gone, so probably moved up. But we will give his pick for him also.
sounds good.
You gonna ask me my
All
pick
right.
for
Hey,
fun?
Mikey. Yeah, we can. We will.
Okay.
One condition though, you got to pick someone who isn't one of our picks.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
Jonathan's making race picks
All right.
for tonight.
No, for Talladega tomorrow.
Oh.
You went first, Michael. Do you remember who you chose earlier this week?
Yep, I sure do.
All right. Who was it?
Well, his actions are detrimental to
Damn it!
an
I
embodiment
knew
of
he was gonna
stock
get
car
picked.
racing,
I knew he was
but
gonna get picked.
it is Denny Hamlin
I knew he was
that I
gonna
think
get
is going to
picked.
win tomorrow.
Well, he's on the pole
Sorry,
today.
Jonathan. Sorry, Jonathan.
Him winning the poll though, that's very interesting because Toyotas don't like to
man.
qualify very well. So
Oh yeah.
I feel like Gabe Hart and them know how important track was just
I
gonna be.
think I need a breather after that one. That was
That was a pretty good reaction.
All right. Thanks, Mikey.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So I gotta take him off the list. I got some. I got
You're
some
gonna
other.
get yourself kicked out of the booth before you even get in it, bud.
Wait, did I say something?
No.
Oh, okay. You're getting me nervous. Don't make me nervous. I thought I said that wrong.
We still need a bleep button for you.
You can't do that to me.
Anyway,
I don't think YouTube likes that word either.
What did I do?
I don't know what happened. I'm confused. Also.
No one heard him.
Adam, go ahead.
No.
I guess not. Something happened. Everyone's confused here, but 2 of them. Anyway,
I said the
my
thing,
pick-
and I don't know what happened.
My pick is the guy who is currently crab walking around Talladega with a car with like 3 body panels left on it. Austin Hill. I think he's gonna have a lot better day tomorrow than what he's got right now. The 62 car underdog shot, I think.
I'm happy you picked an underdog. That's one more favorite I can have on mine.
Well, Johnathan,
I'm just saying.
Canfield, you're up next.
I went ahead with driver that just broke his leg recently and had to recover. I went ahead and took Chase Elliott. He has a history on plate tracks, and I see no reason why he won't have the same history tomorrow.
Most recent Talladega winner. And the man he beat was Ryan Blaney for that win, and that is who Dawson Allen is choosing this weekend for tomorrow's Cup race. And Josh, you chose after him.
Yeah, let me tell you, a lot of drivers I think has a great chance we're taking, but there's another driver I think that has a great chance as well. RFK worked so well at Daytona earlier this season for the 500. Both their drivers almost had a chance to get the win right there at the end. They also both won the dual races last season at Daytona. So obviously I can't choose both, but I went with the guy who has so much experience at Talladega. He has won so many races as well. Brad Keselowski, I think he's going to get it done tomorrow.
So are you just gonna take my picks? Is that what's gonna happen?
Well,
Okay.
The last pick is Cameron Caldwell. He went with last week's winner, Kyle Larson. Yeah. So he chose Kyle Larson for Talladega. That concludes the Fastlane JCTV picks. Johnathan Parker, who do you think is going to win tomorrow out of everyone who is left?
First of all, Cameron is
all your picks.
He is picking with his heart because Kyle Larson has a negative plan on a plate track. That dude turned right on Kurt Busch last year. He turned right on Kurt Busch last year, and he thought he did something right. He thought he made a really good move for the win. If he would have stayed low, he would have won it. It wouldn't have been Chastain. Well, that's a different story. So the 11s picked the 9, the Austin Hill, the 6,
12, and the 5.
12, 5. I'm gonna go. He's in the booth for this race. That's, I think, on the white flag. Yeah, Joe Logano. He won at Atlanta, and Joe Logano is outstanding at plate tracks. He pushes better than most people. He blocks like a madman. Dale Jr. started a blocking fetish, and he's pretty good at it too. So I'm going with Joe Logano.
All right, pretty strong pick. And we have breaking news: Jeb Burton just won that Xfinity race that took forever. So our first winner tonight has been declared, and Jordan Anderson Racing won. So now it's time to get on to the main show for us tonight, the In the Pits News Truck Series. So it's going to be exciting tonight. And guys, last thoughts for tonight's show. Josh, you're going to be on the track. What do you think you're going to see tonight? I know we already asked this a couple times, but what are you in store for with that 42 machine?
Probably a yellow, but hopefully not. It's really hard to tell. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'd like to say I'm going to be out front controlling this race all night long, but we'll just have to see. I'm going to work with my teammates, hopefully really well tonight, and if it's not me in victory lane tonight, I sure hope that it's a PBR driver in the 14, the 15, or the 43 machine.
All right, absolutely. Thanks, Josh, for joining us on Fastlane. Good luck tonight in the race. Thanks, Johnathan Canfield, Johnathan Parker, for joining us in the booth for this Fastlane Live, and excited to get this broadcast started with Dawson Allen and you two as well. This should be a fun show starting in just a couple moments. So good luck, everyone, and should be a treat.